Good evening, everyone!
And welcome to GRuB's annual fundraiser,
the Harvest Soirée!
My name is Susana Bailen Acevedo. I'm a current board member here at GRuB.
And my name's Kim Gaffey. I'm GRuB's founding executive director. And we want to welcome you to this magical, sweet, and important event where we put our money where our hearts are.
At GRuB, we love our Soirée event for the ways in which it brings our supporters together to embody what we do in our programs, gathering people together to make a difference in community and in relationship with healthy food and the land. So, like much else in the last year and a half, we've had to continue pivoting and adapting, so we're here virtually, yet again. While we don't get to see your beautiful faces, that also means that more of us can join from anywhere. So, type in the chat where you are tonight, we'd love to know. Even if most of us aren't together in person, we have a lot to celebrate and support. GRuB has done some amazing things in the past year and a half, and we can't wait to share them with you.
Did you know that this year we are celebrating GRuB's 20th birthday? 20 years! Wow! Let that sink in. I'm letting it sink in. Whew! 2 decades ago, the small Sister Holly Community Garden Project, based here on this piece of land, merged with the Kitchen Garden Project, and GRuB was born. Where were you 20 years ago? What were you up to in 2001? I know there are people watching right now who were here pretty close back to that time, including some old AmeriCorps members who I know are watching right now. Some of you joined the GRuB family along the way, and perhaps some of you are brand spanking new. Regardless of the duration of your relationship here, I ask that you soak in the stories and memories we'll share with you tonight, to reflect on your own experience as well, and pay attention to how those memories and reflections make you feel. And then if you're willing, share it in the chat so we can have a little bit of interaction. That helps us too. Tonight we'll be acknowledging and celebrating our roots, which includes you, includes me, includes so many people. Thank you for nurturing this organization and for supporting GRuB's work throughout these 2 decades. I'm personally very grateful. Now with an important acknowledgement from my colleague from the 10 Gather and Grow team, Mariana.
Shich, Bachwai, Inknashwaniksha, Mariana Harvey, Washnash Yakima Kinnick. Good day, my name is Mariana Harvey. I'm a citizen of the Yakima Nation, and I work here at GRuB in our Wild Foods and Medicines program. GRuB resides on the traditional territories of the Squaxin Island, Nisqually, Chehalis, Cowlitz, and Medicine Creek Treaty tribes, whose relationship with and stewardship of these lands continue to this day. We offer our gratitude and respect to the indigenous peoples of this place and to the land itself. Land acknowledgements are just the first step. Next, we must educate ourselves about the histories of the peoples of this place, about who they are today, about their struggles for tribal sovereignty, about other indigenous movements of resistance happening in our area, and how we might take action and support the indigenous peoples of today. And finally, land acknowledgements are empty gestures without us all taking some action to ultimately return native lands to native hands.
Thank you, Mariana. Acknowledging history, stories of culture, individual journeys are all important for healing. Not only healing the land and the environment, but also for healing relationships within our communities, within families, and sometimes within ourselves. An important part of relationship building here at GRuB is the circle up, so we're gonna try on a virtual version of that tonight with some GRuB trivia. We're gonna show you some pictures, and in the chat, you can type if you recognize any people, places, or know the year when it happened. You can also use this time to browse through our auction catalog and make sure you've got some bids in. Okay, there's that first slide. What's happening there? That's right, GRuB not only builds backyard gardens, we build community gardens. Where do you think this one was at? Do you remember? That's right, it was in Rochester. Second slide, so beautiful. Can anyone guess where that is at? GRuB's newest piece of land, not that new anymore. Maybe out in Lacey, maybe attached to the food bank. Okay, people are getting it, that's right. This is the home of the Victory Farmers program. And this is where all sorts of beautiful things happen and food is grown for our local food bank. Oh, who are these beautiful people? That's right, who's here? Name it. I see Katie, I see Anna, I see beautiful peeps. And is that the governor? I think that's at the, oh, okay. I think that's at the Capitol. I think that's GRuB folks planting stuff up at the Capitol. So cool. Anyone remember this day? I remember it. I'm in the photo there. All the staff got together. What are we celebrating? Oh, we're celebrating the fact that Boeing gave us the huge new garden building truck. So cool. Oh, who are those funny looking people? Come on, put it in the chat. Who are they? That's right, there's me in the hat, and Blue Pete's, our co-founder on the right, and Lindsay Parrish, who worked with us way back in the day, back when we were the Sister Holly Garden Project. Who is this epic and amazing elder? That actually is a picture of the GRuB farm from the mid-90s. And who is that person? Come on, put it in the chat. Oh, I think someone got it. That's right, it's Bonnie Turner, who brought her family here and grew food on this land for over 50 years. Who is this handsome young man in the back of the truck? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? No, his name's not Bueller. Who is it? Come on. That's right, that's Rich Doss, founder of the Kitchen Garden Project, where we learned all of our garden building magic. Who are these fine folks? That's right, you can figure it out. What did GRuB host in 2014 and again in 2016? Anyone? That's right, the Rooted in Community Conference. It's a national conference where youth and allies come together to celebrate the creation of good food systems in all of our communities.
Virtual giving feels just as good as in-person giving, but it looks a little bit different. If at any time you have trouble getting registered or placing bids, please contact us at soiree@goodgrub.org or call us at the number on your screen. And please share with us your selfies or tag us on your social media tonight. We've got an amazing virtual program ahead, so check your email for your invitations to register and bid. And now I would like to pass it to Matt Smith.
Hello. Thank you, Susanna, for that brief, direct, and to-the-point introduction. Friends, I am delighted to be here on behalf of GRuB here at GRuB, and I am very excited to serve as your giving cheerleader for the evening. We have a fantastic virtual program prepared to get you into the bidding spirit. If you have not done this before, don't worry, it's very straightforward, and there are many ways you can support GRuB. First of all, you can bid on over 80 fabulous items through our online auction. That's right, there are 80 items that you can bid on. So please go to that online auction and start bidding now. Some of these items will close, like 3 of them, during the program tonight, and the remainder will close towards the end at about 6:15. Second, you can make a donation during our virtual paddle raise. Simply look at the screen, and on the screen you will see the auctioneer instructions. The rule are three rules: bid high, bid often, and give generously. Pretty simple. It is because of generous donors like you that we are here tonight and that GRuB can continue to support our community. So let's kick it off with a great toast from Deb.
Hi, I'm Deb Crockett. I'm GRuB's Executive Director, and I'm so pleased that you joined us tonight for Soirée. I'm here at the GRuB farm, right in front of our raspberry plants. And I want to talk a little bit about why we picked this location. So this is a year and a half that we've had with the pandemic. We really felt at GRuB like we had been pruned. And if you know anything about working with plants, you know when they're pruned, as hard as it is to do that, the roots grow a little bit deeper, and the foliage that grows back is more lush and more powerful. That's what we feel like happened with our programs this year at GRuB. These raspberries in particular are important to us because they are Bonnie Turner's raspberries. Bonnie owned this land before GRuB was here and welcomed our founders here onto this land. And when GRuB came to have tenure here, one of the stipulations was that we continue to tend these raspberry plants right here. And I think raspberries in particular are a really fitting tribute to GRuB. So let's talk a little bit about raspberries. So they're part of the rose family, and we know roses for their beauty and as a symbol of love, so true to GRuB. But they also have thorns and that fierce protection for what is truly important to the plant. Raspberries can be easily transplanted, so we can take their roots and bring them to a new location. And indeed, over the years, we've done that all around Olympia, so many of you may have some of Bonnie Turner's raspberries in your own homes and yards. And raspberries are amazing hosts to pollinators, to welcome the bees and the other insects from other places to cross-pollinate and make something new and fresh, which GRuB has done with other organizations. And finally, the raspberries themselves, they're delightful. The plants are reliable and resilient. So just like GRuB, we see raspberries as being something that is a really powerful symbol of our work in the world. So I thank you so much for joining with us tonight, celebrating our roots, celebrating the new growth that's happening here at GRuB and in the region, and the sweetness of everything that we're doing together. So I invite you to lift a glass together with me, and cheers, and happy bidding.
Thank you for that lovely toast, Deb. Now, hopefully you have had a chance to place some bids on auction items in the online catalog. If not, go ahead and do so now. We're going to take a minute now to look at 3 items that we're going to be closing very soon. I'll talk about the first one, Susanna will talk about the second one, and then Kim will talk about the third one. First up is a paella dinner for 12 prepared by the Rowley and Glore families.
Paella.
Isn't that what I said?
Nope.
Okay, paella.
Paella.
Paella is a classic Spanish rice dish made with saffron, vegetables, chicken, and sometimes seafood cooked on a big, huge pan. Lynn Glore and family and friends will cook outside in a beautiful open fire, served with Spanish-themed sides, dessert, and beverages in a beautiful garden setting. If you're a vegetarian, no problem. Bid on this. We'll make it work. Go ahead and bid.
I'm excited about auction item number 2. Fran is a longtime supporter of GRuB with a personal connection. Her daughter, Rebecca Potasnik, was GRuB's operation director for many years. Every year, Fran makes a custom piece just for Soirée. This year's piece is called Rooted and Growing, and like every year, it is outstanding. The piece is entirely made out of aluminum cans. It is upcycled art. Even the patterns on the bird's wings and the veins in the leaves were cut directly from aluminum cans. Bidding is always heavy on Fran's art. If you aren't the winning bidder though, you can still take home some of Fran's art. She takes custom orders and donates the proceeds to GRuB. Reach out to GRuB if you're interested in having Fran make you a custom piece. You can also buy a book featuring photographs of many of Fran's mini masterpieces on the Octria Purchases page. Fran has donated 30 copies of this book to GRuB, so all the proceeds from sales during Soirée will benefit GRuB.
Wow! Okay, we're ready for auction item number 3. How about a cruise on Bud Inlet for you and 5 lucky guests? Captain Scott Volz and First Mate Connie Bunyer will take you out on their sailboat, the Traveler. I just did this 2 weeks ago, and it was epic. It's a large, solid sailboat that's appropriate for all ages. Land lovers are welcome and encouraged. You can even help steer the boat, haul in the lines, or just relax on the front deck and enjoy the scenery. You'll depart from Swantown Marina, and you can cruise at the time of your choosing. And you can bring your own food and drink and make it a party. You'll see seals and seabirds, sometimes eagles and porpoises, and if the weather is fine, you'll see the Olympic Mountains and Mount Rainier. We want to thank Scott and Connie from Mystic Cruises for this generous donation.
So folks, call all your friends, gather your family around, get your devices ready, and keep on bidding.
Thanks, Matt. Hey, Susanna, do you remember the first time you came to GRuB?
Yes, it was the spring of 2018. My family got a garden from GRuB, and then we were invited to classes to learn about how to care for our garden. That was really cool. Then we were invited with my little one. I have a 7-year-old now. He was younger then. And we were invited to Families in the Farm, a wonderful program for mothers and their kids in the garden. Heather was so amazing. Then my teenager came here in the summer for the youth program, and now I'm a board member.
Oh, you've had a full family experience.
Yes, we have. Like, we really love it here. And how about you? What was your first time here at GRuB?
Well, my first time was before it was GRuB. So back in 1996, I was part of a group of students that joined Blue Pete's, who was our founder here on this farm. And he had started the Sister Holly Garden Project, and we joined him, and that's when we started envisioning what could it look like for this land to serve people of all different ages. And then I graduated from Evergreen, and I stayed here and became a staff member. And yeah, it was a really sweet journey.
Wow. And I bet you could not imagine that it was going to be this big.
No, I mean, we were pretty ambitious. We were Evergreen students, but we could not imagine that the community would step up in the way it has to create this place from scratch, and that it's so much more rich and diverse because of the way the community has co-created it with staff.
That's amazing. Big dreams,
Yeah.
big results.
Yeah, pretty cool.
We're going to show you some powerful stories about how GRuB has impacted people. Let's hear from some of the folks that engaged with GRuB this year.
There is a memory I'll share with you. My very first memory with my family on this land. I had just gotten hired, and we were met by two young people. Both of these young people were young women. They were probably both 16, I think, at the time, and carried themselves in this way that was so grounded, present, and excited to show us around with a sense of ownership and leadership. And at one point, one of the young women said, "You see these plants right here? These radishes, I planted them. These are what I take care of, and I'm so proud of how they've grown, and I can see them, and now they taste so delicious, and we put them in our market stand, and they're part of our CSA boxes." And just to think about how these young people with this like badass attitude showing up at that farm saying, "This is my place, welcome, come and be a part of this," to someone who's 25 years, 30 years their senior, it's really powerful. Hi, my name is Karensa Mabwa.
My name is Mercy Karaoke McGee.
My name is Suzanne Klink.
My name is Ollie.
I'm Stephanie Shimon-Delay, creatress and visionary for Kindergarten in the Garden.
I'm a staff here at GRuB. I have been a staff since 2010.
I am a financial educator and coach with Washington State Employees Credit Union.
I am the co-founder of Happy Farmers Collective, which I founded with my daughter. It's a collaboration between myself and GRuB and the food bank.
When I landed in Olympia and I told people what I was doing, they said I needed to connect with GRuB.
I came to GRuB in 2016. I was comfortable here and I kept coming back.
I connected with Kim. We talked about our mutual missions and core values. I'm focused on children of Black, Indigenous, and Brown cultures and uplifting them to recognize that they have the right to be centered as the geniuses they are. And so that's how I came to be known as Baby GRuB.
We found GRuB at this perfect time. We got a beautiful garden from GRuB, and GRuB was looking for a community engagement coordinator, so I applied for that. And our family has been a part of GRuB's work in some form or fashion, and so that's how I got to GRuB.
We actually came in as volunteers. And then once we realized exactly what was happening, GRuB was a well-kept secret. And so we came in, started volunteering, and then we started sponsoring GRuB.
Happy Farmers was another way for us to kind of raise awareness of how to empower Black and Brown people in our community. It was apparent that people were starting to find this unified voice around food justice as a means of liberating ourselves. We really don't have a Black and Brown access to land, started looking at other ways to engage the community, the idea of a BIPOC farm came around, and I knew GRuB was actually a pioneer in food access and providing that education. But this particular experience is what changed my whole entire life.
I also believe that a great start is a healthy childhood, and a healthy childhood depends on a healthy community. The way that I feel my life has changed because of GRuB, that no matter how great an organization is, there's a response to community. There's an opportunity to speak truthfulness, and how do you invite Black, Brown, Indigenous people in to be a part? You invite people in to tell you the truth.
Coming to GRuB and it being a multicultural place, which is constantly moving and shifting and changing and striving to be a more equitable place. That's a lot of the work that we've always done here. And I just was so impacted. It was like the next step for me of what it meant to learn to be in community and work together and to chew on issues and to share stories in a way that felt braver and safer, to be able to open up some of the pieces that we never get to talk about because of trauma or because of just our social rules and cultural rules. And that was a really powerful experience for me. And it opened up a whole new understanding of what people's perspective of life are.
They're passionate about their work and compassionate. I just love their environment here.
You know, when I come here, there's always like a little spiritual experience for me. I mean, it feels like this is a place where people and creatures and souls are safe, and we need more of that.
GRuB has always functioned as a hub for the community for people to step in when they're new or looking for connection.
To me, it's a huge success being able to collaborate with people who already understand food. So what has happened as a result of that, we have given the communities of color on this side of town a place to come to experience farming, to form community.
The thing that I'm most proud of is seeing a baby recognize not only that they planted the seed, they get to take that vegetable home and present it to their family. And they become a leader in their family, and that source of pride and understanding that they're capable to stand in their own abilities, and no one can ever take that away.
GRuB calls itself a rooted community. Black and brown communities are very rooted. It's all about rooting ourselves. Empowerment, social justice for food and land ownership, education. I saw an opportunity of people who are actually I can work with. And I cultivated that, and I continue to cultivate that.
There's so many ways that this is a web. GRuB is this hub, and it's a web. A person can come through this for the short term or for the long term and will be changed.
I can only speak to why I support GRuB, because it definitely has the connection with our Mother Earth, and we already know that's where our wellness, that's where our health, that's where our sense of identity comes from.
This organization is constantly listening, learning, and growing in response to and with the community. It taps people in a place that might be dormant and lets them know, you can do this too. We need you at the center. We need your voice at the table, and we have a place for you.
I think getting people together to grow food for other people is a beautiful way to build community.
When they say rooted, they are really rooted. They've been in this community doing this work, providing free beds, fundraising to give community spaces like this, finding collaborators who can really advance their mission, and really trying to get into the community so they can actually understand what the community's needs are. And I think supporting GRuB, you're supporting not just the community, not just GRuB, you're really supporting the work that goes to the people they touch every day. We should really invest both energy and monetary in organizations that are actually right centered in the community, because that's what community is all about. And that's where we all belong as a community.
This is a place for people to find a little bit of refuge and to find some spaces in themselves that feel where they can be whole. And this is a place that the community needs. We need a hub that can stay in that fluid, flexible place, which is really about lifting up folks who are wanting to remember what it means to be human.
As you just saw, there's a seat for everyone at GRuB's table. We create opportunities for people to learn, lead, and thrive. Our most important harvest is community. Now, let's take a look at one of many examples of how GRuB makes a difference in people's lives.
I was lucky enough in my life to have parents that cooked as much as they possibly could. I took it all in, but I didn't really do a lot with it until I moved away from my parents and just sort of realized there's a lot more to food than just I'm hungry. I first began this kind of work back in an alternative school called Avanti. There was a program called Radish, and that was a huge kind of initiation towards my interest in community-centered agriculture and gardening. And this was kind of the next step up, and I haven't wanted to leave since, so. I've kind of struggled with school just forever, so eventually this place kind of became like, okay, let's try one more time. And I'm really glad I did, because I graduated here. The progressive attitude here, just like no matter what gender or race or sexuality, etc. that you identify with here, it's a very welcoming place, and it was kind of my introduction more to an actual sense of community. I've never really had that. When you come here, you might not necessarily know what you want to do or what you're capable of, but as you start to figure that out, people will come to you and notice you and try to involve you in other parts of GRuB here, because there's all these different types of programs. It's like everyone trying to help each other be the best version of themselves as they can. It's just all around a great network for resources. We're all kind of in this together. I think what I've loved most about this position was first time teaching. I'd never done that. I didn't really expect to do that, and as kind of cliche as it is, it taught me a lot. Just introducing students to kitchen skills that they had no idea about. That kind of excitement I see in anyone's face when I show them something like that. And then beyond that, giving them a safe place to grow those skills and kind of be creative, and I think comforting in all the ways for students to see that as a leader and realize they can, no matter how weird or offbeat they may feel about themselves, it's you can do whatever you want. That doesn't matter. This place is really looking out for the future. Sustainability here is always kind of something that we keep in mind, and that's something I and a lot of people here are very concerned about, just for planet Earth. what better than to surround myself with people that have the same concerns and values as that, and to hopefully share some ideas, spark some ideas or conversations that can extend our impact in those regions, and to hopefully make a slightly safer, more loving world, I guess. I've learned a lot here. My self-esteem shot that up a lot, and I see myself either working for more alternative learning programs or farms like this, or starting my own someday. I just really believe that everyone should be able to access healthy, nutritious, delicious food. The impact here is daily, whether it's how someone sees themselves or how they start to understand community, society. I just hope this place will be here for a long time. These places, specifically like GRuB, I really hope that people start to recognize more and more as each year passes, like, they're not everywhere and they don't always get seen the way they should. This is something different. I hope it's here for a long time.
Thank you for those beautiful stories. And that brings us to the pinnacle of tonight's program, the virtual paddle race. Our goal tonight for the paddle race is $35,000. And friends, these are 100% tax-deductible donations. You can give it any amount that you want at any time, but I'm going to start high and go low. For $2,400, you can support a hands-on work and learning experience for one youth for one season. You can give $2,400 now, tonight, or if you'd like, $200 a month for a year, and we'll set it up for you. Next is $1,200. That provides a backyard garden and gardening support for one family for 1 year. You can give $1,200 now or $100 a month for a year. $600 supports a wild foods and medicine workshop by Kim. Is that right, Kim? Woohoo! Fantastic. Next, $240 gives one family 7 weeks of healthy youth-grown vegetables this fall. And in the background today, there are a bunch of youth gathering vegetables for just such a thing. $100 supports a Victory Farmers Workshop for veterans, providing skills and support for their civilian futures. Whatever gift you can, please do. Thank you all so much for your generosity. Give yourselves a huge round of applause for your continued support of GRuB. All right, here's one more chance to give GRuB a gift. Look in Octria for the chance to choose your own donation amount. If you prefer to give anonymously, you can. Or if you missed any level of giving, you feel compelled to give either $5 or $5 million, that's right. If you'd like, you can give $5 million. We'll use it. Please email Nicole at the address shown on your screen, and she would love to talk to you. Thank you, everyone. That was fantastic. Now let's close a few items. The paella dinner for 12. That's closing soon. I'm $1,000 bid now, $1,200, $1,500, now $17.5. We're not doing it like that. We're doing it on Octria, but keep your eye on Octria for that paella dinner. Also, Fran's artwork is closing soon. Again, keep your eye on Octria and keep on bidding. Bud Bay Cruise closes soon. That's where Kim went. Keep your eye on Octria because that's going to close soon as well. Okay, it's closed, friends. Those 3 items are closed anyway, but keep bidding on everything else and you can always keep giving to GRuB. Friends, thank you for your fantastic bidding and generosity. Give yourself a huge round of applause. You did your part to support GRuB. There's applause in the background. Also, applause and cheering in the chat or live. If you're here, you can chat for yourselves, Kim and Susanna. So they did a great job. Kim and Susanna, great work tonight. And let's also show our production team some love. Way to go. You can go into the chat line and tell them how you feel. They have been awesome. Well, that's it for my part. Thank you for having me. I hope you had a great time supporting GRuB. I look forward to serving you next year and seeing you next year. So keep on bidding. Hopefully it'll be live then.
Thank you, Matt. What a cool auction. Tonight, we all got together and we made a huge difference in how GRuB is able to support community members in getting resources, skills, and having meaningful experiences on the land. Thank you again to our very professional auctioneer, Matt Smith. You were fantastic. And thank you once again to all our speakers for sharing their GRuB stories. Please give a big round of applause for all this evening's donors and sponsors. This virtual event would not be possible without all of you. We appreciate your support. We want to thank our committee, our board members, our groovy volunteers, and our amazing staff. You all made this possible tonight.
Thank you again to everyone for your exceptional generosity and solid support tonight. GRuB could not continue to fund our good work without your contributions and support. The auction closes soon, so get your last-minute bids in now. We appreciate you tuning in and look forward to seeing you in person soon.
As a matter of fact, we have an outdoor open house event at GRuB on October 9th. You can come here to the farm, experience activities on the land, and deepen your own connection and commitment to this work.
Check out the Octria website one more time tonight before we end the auction at 6:15 Pacific Standard Time and put your bid on your favorite items. We have some amazing self-care collections so you can treat yourself or someone you love to a massage, acupuncture treatment, or some nice body products. We also have several lovely rooted in community collections filled with items gathered from local businesses and individuals who are part of the GRuB community. Each collection probably has some items from businesses or artists that are familiar to you, and some that are new to you. Purchase one and get familiar with some great products and services you didn't know about before. In addition to the items you can bid on, our Octrio website has a page for purchases. Most of these items are small and would make nice gifts. It's not too early to think about the holidays. Fran's book of her artwork is also on this page. Enjoy the rest of the evening, stay healthy, and keep enjoying this music of Afrofusion band Mazi Gazi.
And thank you for supporting GRuB, truly.
Thank you to GRuB for inviting us here.
Thank you. Thanks.
We're from Olympia, Washington. We've been in this community for over 7 years, and we are so honored to be here with you this afternoon. Mandela. Mandela, Mandela. Mandela, Mandela. Mandela, Mandela. Wewe ni shujaa wa ulimwengu wangu. Wewe ni shujaa wa ulimwengu wangu. Ulisadeke wapo wa Afrika. Wewe ni shujaa wa ulimwengu wangu. Mandela, Mandela. Mandela, Mandela. Mandela, Mandela. Mandela. Mandela, Mandela. Oh, Mandela. Wewe ni shujaa. Ulifungwa jela miaka 27. Ndio mwaka wa Afrika. Afrika ya kushukuru. Kweli wewe ni shujaa. Mandela. Mandela, Mandela. Mandela, Mandela. Mandela, Mandela. Mandela, Mandela. You save the world. Oh, Mandela. Africa ya kushukuru. Oh, 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 Mandela, 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 Mandela. Mandela, 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 Mandela. Oh, Mandela, 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 Mandela. Oh, Mandela. Oh, Mandela. Oh, Mandela. Mandela, Mandela, Mandela. Mandela, Mandela. Mandela, Mandela. Here we go. Yeah. Mandela, Mandela. Mandela, Mandela. Yo Mandela. Yo Mandela. Mandela, Mandela. Mandela, Mandela. Mandela, Mandela. Mandela. Mandela.
Well, my name is Carrie Ziegler, and I am an artist. I do a lot of large-scale collaborative artworks around different environmental and social justice issues with inspiring messages of how we can create a world where we love and where we can all thrive. I actually became involved with GRuB around 2005 when I was working for the YMCA Earth Service Corps program, and I took youth out here to volunteer on the garden. For this project, I became involved when Carenza broached the idea of doing a collaborative art piece for GRuB's 20th birthday with myself and Darishma. I was simply thrilled to be able to be a part of such a project.
My name is Darishma Alphonse. My art journey began in 2018, and this is one of a few projects that I began working with people and art together in community and creating collaboratively. My connection to GRuB began when we moved to Olympia. I came to one of the events here, and it was just such a beautiful space for me and a place where I could find community and like-minded individuals, which some are very close friends now. I connected with this project specifically because I wanted to transition to doing community art, and I was very excited to take it on.
We designed this art installation to be a celebration of GRuB for their 20th birthday. GRuB is just so rooted in this community and brings people together in a way that very few other organizations do. We thought it would be really beautiful to incorporate 20 native medicinal or edible plants to represent GRuB's 20th birthday.
My favorite part of the project was drawing the 20 native plants and researching about them and their properties and how they have had so much value in our community for not just like medicinal value, but like health value, and also it's part of the landscape and the beauty here. We decided to include the chakra colors for the background of this project. Each color actually connects to one of the 7 chakras. And so people got to choose one square which indicated where they were at with their chakra system. With that, we gave people these reflection questions where they were able to connect deeper with what was happening kind of internally with them.
The project is called Love Notes to GRuB. We designed it so that 240 different people could participate in a way that was really accessible. And so each person was able to take one little square and write a note on it about what GRuB means to them, draw a design or a picture that would then become part of this larger tapestry, really showing how all these individual people come together to create the essence of what GRuB is.
Through this project, we wanted to offer the connection to the self, native plants, the land, and GRuB the relationship that each person has with GRuB, and to explore these things while creating the art and also being in community.
I feel really grateful for the opportunity to do this work and to be a part of this community.
From Olympia, Washington, and we are so honored to be here for this celebration. You know, food is so important, and food movers are so important. Farmers are so important. Look around you, the beauty of farming, the beauty of flowers, the bees, the plants, the apples, all the things we need to sustain ourselves happens from the ground. So if you already had not a supporter of GRuB, head over to their website. Give it all everything you can give. Yeah. 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 God unifies us. God gives us freedom. wanna be unified. Yeah. Give me freedom. Give me freedom. Give me freedom. Give me freedom. Freedom. Unified. Freedom. 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 Peace. Breathe. Freedom. Peace. Breathe.